Here are 7 of the most common dreams and what they mean. But are they all just made up? Welcome back to Lyon Mental Health. My name is Jesse Lyon. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, certified clinical hypnotherapist, and the internet's dream interpreter. And today we are reacting to the most viral YouTube videos about dreams and their meaning, so I can tell you whether they're real or they're just made up for viral clicks. Now, I always look for these videos because this one has 13 million views, but if you check the description, no links to any resources where they got these dream meanings, why we should believe them, why we should trust them. So I'm going to be reacting to it, blind reaction here, and telling you from my personal experience in clinical practice and my education, if this is something you should look into, that you should believe, or if it's just kind of made up garbage. I really support people looking into the research and studying scientific articles because there's a lot of great information about dreams and what they mean and how you can use them for your mental health. But there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, so I'm going to clear that up for you today.
At first glance, dreams might be just fictional scenarios our minds make up when we're sleeping. But what if there's more to them than just stories we tell others or write about after?
Okay.
Although there's no scientific evidence to prove that dreams hold special meaning, for many years they have been studied to promote better self-awareness and to help us understand what's bothering us in our everyday.
So this is actually a great point. A lot of people are like, well, dream interpretation is not a scientific thing. Yes and no. So there is an art to dream interpretation. Like, you have to really connect with that person. You have to really understand them. It's the same thing as mental health counseling. There are a lot of really good scientific and research-based practices to mental health counseling, but the overwhelming research shows that it doesn't matter what your theoretical orientation is or even what intervention you use. It's all about the connection that you have with your therapist. It's the same for dream interpretation. There is no scientific research to say that this dream equals this exact thing. That just doesn't happen because people are so varied and so different. However, there is a lot of really good research that says if you have this general type of dream experience, it can indicate some of these general type of waking problems. And that's where my job comes in, combining both the research and sort of the intuitive, connective, relational nature of seeing a client and working with them to help them understand for self-insight what their dreams are trying to tell them. So I'm glad they actually brought that up. It's a good point, and they're correct in saying that.
According to Suzanne Bergman, a social worker and dream specialist, dreams are a universal language, creating often elaborate images out of emotional concepts.
Very
Have
true.
you been recognizing certain themes you frequently dream about? Here are 7 common dream meanings.
Hey, let's go.
1. Being lost or trapped. This is a common dream many people have. Being lost or trapped usually means you're unsure about what step to take next from a particular circumstance in real life. People who dream about getting lost in the woods, a large building, or any maze-like structure in general often feel overwhelmed and can't seem to find a way out.
Very true.
This reflects the mental, physical, financial, or emotional burdens they're experiencing in real life.
Let's pause there for that one. Yes, absolutely. But the only thing I would add, that's actually spot on. They did a great job. And I love that they brought in Suzanne Bergman too, like somebody who actually works in the field. But just to add a little bit, I think a lot of people get confused because they're like, well, my life isn't confusing right now. Yes, true. Remember, dreams are dealing with your emotional content. So it may not be about your waking life per se, like the actual physical, tangible environment. It might be about your emotional experience. So a lot of times people dream about maze-like houses, being lost in a forest. Forests are supposed to be healing. Houses are a symbol for your psyche, but being lost inside of them may mean that you feel lost inside of your own emotional self, that you don't really know what you're feeling. You don't really know how to move forward. And so you're kind of confused. Your life may be kind of normal. Got your 9 to 5, your 401k is kind of figured out, your family's doing okay, but you feel lost. So just to kind of make that distinction there, it may not be about your literal physical environment. Think your emotions have a lot to say through your dreams about your emotional and internal environment as well. So just a little added bonus there. It's important to make that distinction.
Do you ever dream about missing public transportation,
Yeah.
such as a bus, train,
Usually
plane,
late to
or
work.
taxi? Often, people who dream about such scenarios tend to miss them only by a fraction of a second. This can also pertain to
What a
scenarios
tease.
where you dream about being late for a job interview, performance,
That's
or
me.
special event.
That's me.
In real life, these dreams may reflect the regrets you have for not going after what you wanted. whether that means missing out on seeing your favorite band perform live or not applying for your dream job on time. 3. Car trouble.
I would add a little bit more to that one. I've seen a lot of situations actually where it's not about feeling like a missed opportunity. It could. That's a great interpretation, but I'm going to add some nuance to it, right? I think a lot of times we are late or struggle or feel like we can't go fast enough or arrive on time because we're doubting ourselves, right? So it could be about like a physical thing. I didn't make it to that job interview on time, or I didn't take the opportunity that was presented to me, but it can be much more personal as well. And I think a good example of this would be like, I don't feel like I'm fast enough. I don't feel like I'm smart enough. I don't feel like I'm, financially stable enough to be able to take these opportunities. And so your mind will give you that sort of symbol by just missing some kind of opportunity. So it may not be literal, physical. It may be much more emotional as well. It sounds like they're taking a very physical, literal approach to some of these dream interpretations.
Troubles. People who dream about these scenarios usually find themselves in or near a car vehicle.
Super common.
They can either be the driver or the passenger when they experience a brake failure, flat tire, or getting hit by another car.
And I would say that this has to be top 5 for sure. Maybe I would say it would be number 1, except for relationship dreams are more common in the people that I work with than car. But car's got to be like number 2, man.
In real life, this typically means that you feel like you don't have control over a certain situation.
I say that one all the time.
Or you might be headed for trouble in the future.
Super facts. Yeah, exactly. But I would actually like to also say that they say the term real life. I'm also very, very careful not to say the term real life. Sometimes I slip up and say it because it's so common in our language. But there's a difference between waking life and dreaming life. You'll hear me say that all the time because your dream reality is just as much real as it is your waking reality. And so I don't want to kind of give people the suggestion, even if it's unconsciously, that it's not real, because dreams are the real processing and experience of you working through your emotions while you sleep. I mean, a third of our life is spent in the dream reality. So we have to kind of acknowledge it as being real because they're real experiences. And for some people, dream reality feels even more real than waking life reality. So I always like to make that distinction. Even though they use real life, I like to use waking life because I think it's more honoring to that person and their personal experience.
4. Failing a test. Contrary to what it sounds like, people who dream of this scenario are usually no longer in school.
True.
Common dream scenarios involve having trouble finding the test room, being unprepared from lack of studying, or missing equipment to complete it. They indicate that you are feeling tested in real life, which makes you anxious about what your future holds.
Anxious. Very much an anxious type of dream. I wouldn't even add anything to it. I think that's 100% right. It's about feeling anxious, feeling unprepared, and feeling tested, like you're really being stretched and not feeling like you're going to be able to live up to the challenge of how life is going to stretch you and test you to see if you can handle it.
5. Being chased. This is a common dream people with anxiety often have.
Yep.
They usually dream about being chased by an animal, person, or something you cannot readily identify.
I would also say I see this one a lot in trauma, PTSD, because that's one of the areas I specialize in as a counselor. So anxiety, but also like trauma-based anxieties for sure.
In real life, it means that they are trying to run away from a certain situation, or it could be an emotion they are not ready to confront yet.
Yes.
Whether it's
I would term this one as like avoidance. And anytime you're being chased, there's some kind of avoidance, maybe a waking life and physical situation, or maybe a more personal thing in your past, or like it's saying here, grief and a breakup. 100%. Yes.
Grief or a breakup. 6. Tooth decay.
Hey.
Have you ever dreamed about reaching into your mouth only to feel your teeth fall out, or that there is a missing gap? This indicates that you may feel insecure in real life, unattractive, or not good enough.
Very true. And a lot of people miss that one too. The most common interpretation for this one that really sticks with people and resonates is anxiety. Like teeth are the strength of our mouth. It breaks down our food into manageable sizes. So if we feel like we're losing our teeth, it means that we feel like we're not able to break down life's problems into manageable sizes. There's a great correlation with that symbolism there. But also, I would say this is like the second most common interpretation for this dream that I see with people. It's about aging. We have fears of aging. It still kind of fits the overall umbrella of anxiety and not being prepared or ready, because as I get older, I'm not going to be as strong, as capable, as maybe as smart, like mentally agile to face the troubles I might be facing. So it's either about anxiety, not feeling strong enough, or I have some fears of aging and like my appearance is going to deteriorate, and that's going to cause some real negative experiences for me in my waking life.
Whether it pertains to school, your work life, or romantic relationship.
Facts.
You may also have a fear of being embarrassed or judged by others.
Goes with the
7.
aging part.
Falling or sinking. People who
Ah.
dream of this scenario often find themselves falling from a high building or sinking into an ocean. They usually feel helpless and overwhelmed. It's a common misconception to believe that having those dreams mean a foreshadow to your own death.
I'm so glad they said this. I don't know why or what it is. Maybe it's another one of these viral things. Like, why is it that every time I scroll across TikTok, they're always telling me, oh, this dream means that you're going to die or a loved one's going to die? It's just not true. There can be some happenstance and coincidence where that happens, but overwhelmingly, if people died as many times as people dream of falling or their teeth falling out, oh my God, no one would be left alive, dude. No one would be left alive.
But in reality, they indicate your fear of falling or that you're not content with where you are in life. You may need to carve a new path or make some new choices to help you find meaning again.
That's great. That's fantastic. I would also add, though, one of the most important when it comes to falling dreams is that this can very much be a physical dream, right? And there's some good research actually about the last dream, too, with teeth falling out. You can dream about your teeth falling out because you literally have trouble with your teeth. You can also dream about falling because you are having a blood sugar drop while you sleep. That sensation inside of your body of experiencing a blood sugar drop feels like a dizzy falling sensation, and that gets interpreted by your dreaming consciousness as a dream about falling. And so there's some ways to tell and make some distinctions there. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video. And to be a little bit more specific with the falling dream, it's about achieving your goals, right? We reach this height in our life and we have these dreams about falling because we feel like we're falling from that goal that we achieved, or we're not able to reach the height that we have set for ourselves. So there's this feeling of, I'm out of control. I'm not able to achieve the goals I've set for myself. I'm not able to climb to that height in my life. And you can see some real parallels with the symbolism and even our language, the way that we talk about it. We use those metaphors in our waking life. So let me know which of these dreams that you've had in the comment section down below. And while you're there, please like and subscribe to the video. It helps share the real meaning of dreams and their interpretations with others throughout the internet. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. So please, if you do me a favor, share this and subscribe. Let's hit that 5K together so we can spread mental health awareness and some peace when we're trying to go to sleep. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.